Such a pleasure to have you, Mr. Khera.
Pragya, thanks a lot. Great to be here.
This renowned author and activist, popularly known for his national success, You Can Win, inspiring countless individuals in the realm of self-help. Please welcome Shiv Khera.
The whole system is messed up. 50% of your elected parliamentarians and people in the legislators, they have criminal records. 50%!
With the recent elections, obviously there was a change. What do you think is telling us? Is there something new that people want?
I would vote for BJP. Do I agree with them? No. Why would I vote for BJP when I see arrogance? Because the other options are even worse. You got a property in Gurgaon, but it is lying vacant.
Correct.
At the end of the year, you have to pay income tax on the money that you have not received. This is called notional income.
Really?
Really?
Okay.
Get this message to the finance minister.
Yeah, well, exactly. The budget is round the corner.
And budget is round the corner.
Yeah.
You tell me one thing. Which country taxes you on the money that you have not received? Given the opportunity to be a prime minister of this country, I would straighten this country out within less than 30 minutes.
So it's always such a pleasure to have you, Mr. Khera, and I always learn a lot when we have these conversations with you. So really looking forward to today.
Pragya, thanks a lot. And you look charming as ever, always. As I left you last time. Great to be here.
Well, I should call you more often. It's good for my ego. So,
no. You're a smiling face, and you are a warm person. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you so much. Last time when you were here, we spoke about relationships, and from that conversation, we cut a reel about how these days, it's not so much about compatibility, but it's about the ability to commit to relationships. And the funny thing is that I think on Instagram it reached about 50 lakh people, but on WhatsApp, aunties, uncles, family groups, everyone was sending that reel to me and it was blowing up, only to say that somewhere that resonated all across with everyone. And I think today what I really want to emphasize and talk a lot about with you is just the hope and the aspiration of young India, and really with the budget round the corner, with the new government in place, and really your work that you've done over so many years around interacting with young people. I think you're really right placed to talk about that. And I want to open up the conversation with this incident where I have a close friend of mine, and she's a young girl, extremely energetic, very bright. She told me that, her dream in her life was to get into IIT, right? And as you know, I think the percentage of the number of people who sit to take that exam, actually qualify, is even less than 1%, the success rate. And so, unfortunately, she missed that by 1 mark this year. And she took a gap year, sat again, was very hopeful that she'd make it, but she did not, and she missed it by 1 mark. And the reason I talk about this is because there are many young people like that today who have sacrificed so much, and their dream is to get into one particular institute, and when they don't, they often are very lost because that is really their metric for success. And of course, you've seen generations of leaders and people go through. What do you think? How should young people define success today?
Okay, since you opened up with the topic of relationship, let me just share with you one line which is hitting my head strongly. Look, our biggest asset in life is not our bank balance, it is our relationship balance. And people who have good relationships, what they can accomplish with one phone call, you cannot do with $1 million. And the sad part is today, relationships are breaking up. They're not happening every day. And then look at the divorces. Relationship, parent-child, colleagues at work, they have dirty politics, husband-wife, all. And today, the cliche has been love at first sight, divorced at first fight. This is really what it has become. And I'm writing my new book, which is talking of relationship. Learn to resolve conflicts. Don't dissolve relationship. I repeat one more time. Resolve conflicts, don't dissolve relationships, because these things will happen. Conflicts are part of life. They will happen. They have to happen. But we need to learn to resolve them, not dissolve relationships. And that's one part.
Agreed.
So now come back to the point of what you just mentioned in terms of IITs and the millions of people who apply every year, and less than 1% actually do qualify, and missing by 1%. I personally feel it is sad. It is our government which has created a demand and supply of situation. High demand, high supply and less demand.
Yeah.
And a person missing out by 1%, what says that they are not more qualified than the person who got higher grades? Higher grades. You see, I noticed one thing, whether it's IIT or Ivy League or anywhere, the big names that you look at. One day we were sitting in New York and we were talking, what is the advantage or difference between an Ivy League college versus a community college? And then what percentage of people at the big names make it big? Probably 10-15%. What percentage make it big from the community colleges? Also 10-15%.
Yeah.
And what percentage mess up? Also 10%, both sides. And what is the advantage of going into those big schools? Yes, big names are there. You are competing at much higher levels also, no doubt about that. That is true. And your advantage is really on your first job. Supposing there are two candidates, one from Ivy League and the other is from a community college, probably the person with a bigger name might get a preference, and they get a higher package of 20, 30, 40, 50%. We don't know. They would probably get a higher package. So he gets a preference on the first job. But after that, it's a level playing field, perform or get out.
Yeah.
After that, it is perform or get out. So really it comes down to substance. And I really feel sad that the person who lost out getting into because of one mark, it is sad, and for all you know, it is a loss to the country, bad loss to the country, and people like that, I think, and at the same time, there is reservation here also. People who barely qualify, they would get pass marks, only pass marks, and sometimes not even pass marks. They get it. They get it.
Very true. I mean,
and a person with merit does not get it. You know something? This is the biggest disaster we are creating for our own country. Biggest disaster.
True. I agree with you. I mean,
so tell me one thing. The NEET exam that just took place right now, and all the people who got high grades because they got their paper in advance. They got the paper in advance. They never studied.
yeah.
Tell me, they become doctors. Who cheated got the paper right there. Would you like to be operated by that surgeon or the person who got selected on merit? Which one would you like to get it? So keep in mind, that is disaster. We have one of the chief ministers, I believe, the daughter is a medical doctor, probably never went to school, never went to medical colleges. We don't know that. And would you like to be operated by that person and be treated by that person? You know something? This is what is being done today, which is a disaster for our country. It is recipe for disaster. So I personally feel that, and who creates the system? Just think about it. We only blame the system. System is messed up. Do you know in the last 7 years, 70 cases of leaking of papers have happened in 7 years. That means 7 every year, or 70 or 10
So
every
10
year.
every year.
10 every year. That means every 15 days to 1 month, there is a leak of paper. Tell me something. What have they done in the last 7 years? You know something? Somebody is mixed up. There is politicians in it. There are bureaucrats in it. The whole system is messed up. And they say they blame the system. System is not messed up. Who created the system? You know something? People who are crooks and rascals and corrupt people, they love to have a messed up system. They create a chaos they like it. You know why?
They benefit from it.
They benefit from it, and nobody can point out who messed up.
There's no accountability.
When the system is clean, anybody mess up, they'll be pointed. They'll be picked up. This way, nobody did. Who killed Jessica? Nobody killed Jessica. Nobody killed Jessica.
Yeah.
You know something? Something is wrong. And wrong is political will is missing, governance is missing properly. There's nothing wrong with the system. They created a mess. They created a mess on purpose.
Yeah.
So this is deliberate. And look at that guy in Pune, that Porsche case that took place.
Yeah.
The judge convicted by saying, write an essay. I'm saying it publicly. I wish his son or daughter would have been killed. Now, it's not a good thing to say, but I wish his son or daughter would have been killed and should have been killed. I would have loved to see if he would give the same kind of a judgment. You know something? That judge ought to be tried for murder. I repeat.
Yeah.
That judge ought to be tried for murder. And so, as a kid, his father should be tried for murder. Because without parental consent, none of these things happen. So, we have to be very clear who is creating the mess. It is not that kid. What you are seeing is the symptom. That is the effect. That is the effect. What is the cause? The judge is corrupt. Father is corrupt. All the politicians protecting him are all corrupt. And you blame the system? This is not the system.
Yeah.
This is DNA in our system, which is pulling the country down. I just came from Japan 2 weeks ago. What a country. What a country. You know something? Japan has gone through so many disasters, natural calamities. But every time something happens, whether it is the bomb, atomic bomb, or the tsunami, or something, whatever happens, and it is the global earthquake zone, yet they come back from the ashes like a phoenix. It comes back again and again. Why? You know what? The DNA is 3 words they live by: integrity, loyalty, hard work. 3. The host who had invited us, they are one of the largest pearl dealers in the world. And they have pearl factories. Now, factories doesn't mean they manufacture, but they are the oyster factories, means that's where they cultivate farms. They call them farms. And when I went into their office in Japan, I saw people were working. There was no supervisor. No supervisor. And they were working. Here, you have workers, you have supervisor, and then you have supervisor on top of a supervisor, and you have another supervisor. What's the matter?
And yet nobody is held accountable.
And nobody is held accountable. So there is something wrong. And you know what is wrong? 50% of your elected parliamentarians and people in the legislators, they have criminal records. 50%. You tell me, who is mad? Do you expect good decisions from bad people? Answer is, you cannot.
Yeah.
And answer is, they are bad people. They are bad people. Look, it's a judgment call. It is a judgment call. Should you classify people good, bad? Answer is yes. Why do we shirk from it?
Yeah. No, so my question to you is...
So we have to be very clear.
Yeah.
This kind of elected legislators that you have, how can you expect good things from them. We then cannot. Look, let me share with you one important thing. I just addressed about 1,000 doctors at an alumni meet. And there was a senior officer from Niti Aayog also.
Mm-hmm.
And he was talking of our GDP is going up and GDP, DDP, all that stuff. And then he said, we are spending lakhs and lakhs of crores on skill development. Lakhs, crores. So after that, they handed him the mic. And I acknowledged, I said, sir, yes, it is important that we need to have skilled people. But keep in mind, organizations and countries are not built on skills. You are a very senior officer advising the government and possibly the PMO. Also, Niti Aayog. And I said, sir, understand carefully in English language. Countries are not built on skills. They are built on character.
So well said.
You have a skillful doctor who lacks character, will do useless surgeries, useless procedures. To them, a sick person is not a patient, but a target. To a skillful lawyer who lacks character, a matter that can be resolved in 5 hearings will take 500 hearings. Somebody said beautifully well that a corrupt lawyer with a briefcase can steal more than 100 robbers with guns. And you see, a skillful judge who lacks character will give you judgments, no justice.
Yeah.
A skillful civil servant, IAS, IPS officer, himself will become mafia. A skillful politician who lacks character will sell his country for money. And they are doing it. They are doing it. How do you think 5 crores and 10 crores Bangladeshi and Rohingya can come into this country? You think it is not being done by corrupt people? 5 to 10 crore people have come into this country, literally invaded this country. This is called invasion. Not one bullet has been fired. Not one bullet. And they have taken over the country. A skillful politician who lacks character will sell his country for money. Look at the example through our epics. Ravan was a very learned person.
Yeah.
What was missing?
Values.
Character! So, all we are doing is we are not teaching character. All we are doing is in our schools or colleges, we are creating Ravans here. That's all. Don't we understand English?
Yeah.
You need a PhD to understand this? MBA? What rubbish? Sadly, after doing PhD, MBA, they still don't understand this. That's the problem. That is the problem. You see, we're not the first country with problems. We're the first country who's not coming up with solutions. We don't have the guts. We don't have integrity.
Yeah.
Our patriotism levels are missing. I'm not kidding. Our patriotism level are missing. Why do you think Japan is doing so well? Their patriotism.
Yeah.
China has gone 50 times ahead of India. Yes, they're corrupt, but their patriotism level is way higher than us. Our patriotism primarily is in our army. That's where it is. In our armed forces, in defense services, it is still there because it is taught to them.
And then those odd days of Independence Day, Republic Day,
That's
when
right.
we win a cricket match, it is in those moments that we suddenly become very patriotic. But otherwise...
You know the sad part? Our cricketers and Bollywood guys are getting billions and half a millions and so on. Whereas people who serve the country, they don't.
Yeah.
And why go that far? Just look at the elections that took place even now. Just before the election, only a week, 2 weeks before, 7 Bharat Ratnas were given. 7 Bharat Ratnas. What a timing! What a timing! 7 Bharat Ratnas. Think about it. Did they deserve Bharat Ratna? In my opinion, really they didn't. They did not. Punjab, Bharat Ratna was given, where for 10 years they did nothing except the drugs in the whole country, in the whole state.
Yeah, the youth were...
Tell me, what did they do? What did they do? If they can't do it in 10 years, they are either incompetent, they should have resigned, or they should have been a president rule there. You can't destroy a generation. And they get Bharat Ratna. Hello? What a shame. This is shameful.
Yeah.
You know something? A country that honors the traitors, that country is doomed.
Because you're validating that bad behavior.
That's right. Similarly, other people too. Just look at each one. Did they deserve it? Answer is no. Not my opinion. So these are, look at the levels. And what was given by the government.
Yeah.
We have to start thinking, what the hell are we doing? Now,
As a country,
I also share with you one more thing. I was addressing at a place, and I mentioned that so many 5 crores was the petition admitted in the Supreme Court. But reality, somewhere people are estimating over 10 crore people have walked into this country. 10 crore Bangladeshis, Rohingyas, all from there. 10 crores. This is invading a country. And not one bullet was fired, not one bullet. And you know, a very senior officer, I'm not going to name, from BSF, said, sir, how can we do it? How can we do it? Our borders are porous there. You see, borders are porous, and in one house, this side is Bangladesh, this side is India, this side is this. Our borders are porous. How can you do it? Oh, I said, really? I said, you are a senior IG or whatever the heck he was. He says, you are so helpless. Why don't you resign? No, you are so helpless. Why the hell don't you resign? And you are seeing all this stuff and destroying your own country, and you say, I can't do a thing. Then why are you there? Why you get paid salary? You are getting salary. You are actually not earning your salary. He said, how can we stop? You know, I said, if there was any other country, probably all it would take is fire 9 bullets and the 10th, nobody will show up. You know what he said? He said, immediately it will be a global human rights issue. Oh, I said, really? I said, 10 crore people walk into your country and dislodge and dislocate 10 crore people. Is that not a human rights issue? 10 crore people, you are depriving them of the basic earnings and food. Is that not human rights issue? 10 crore people, you are depriving them of medical assistance. Is that not a human rights issue? 10 crore people, you are seizing them their education opportunity. Is that not a human rights issue? I said, what kind of IG are you? He said, our borders are not demarcated. I said, sir, Bangladesh was created in 1971. At that time, do you realize the entire army of Pakistan, 100,000 people, were prisoners of war? They had no army. They had nobody to carry guns anymore. Bangladesh was created in 1971. At that time, wherever you would mark the line, that would become the border. Wherever you mark the line, that would become the border. I said, you know, we had corrupt people, dishonest people who never thought of this country. India is a history of missed opportunities, one after the other. You had the entire army of theirs. Wherever you would draw the line, that would become the border. And at the same time, you could have cleaned up your Pakistan occupied Kashmir. You could have cleaned up that. And at the same time, you would have drawn the border right there. Wherever there's an issue, it would have been finished up right there on the spot. They would have signed on the dotted line. You know something? Our DNA needs to be checked. Our DNA needs to be checked. That is true. Sadly, That is what we have done and we consider forgiving people as magnanimity. No. I said, look, I'm updating my book. Freedom is not free. Every generation needs to earn its own freedom. And I said, look, you see, magnanimity to the point of self-destruction, that's not magnanimity, that's stupidity.
Yeah.
And how can you just let go, forgive? Is it a virtue or a stupidity? And I quoted, I'm writing in my next book, updating Freedom is Not Free. I said, just look at example. Muhammad Ghori attacked India and Prithviraj Chauhan defeated him. And then he let him go. He let him go. Why did he let him go?
Yeah.
He said, he might have said, sorry, who cares? But then why do you let him go?
Yeah.
He was an enemy. Did he come to garland you? Did he come to give gifts to you and your family? He came to plunder, rape your woman, take your country, damn it, made slave out of you. He came for that reason. Why do you let him go? For what? You see, this is called fake bravery. Mujh ki shaan. Mujh ki shaan, sahab, mujh ki shaan. You see, bada aadmi forgive karta hai. It is the bigger person who forgives. And stupid also forgives. And the guy went back, came back again.
Yeah.
And then, again, we don't know the reality. Some people say he came only once. Some people say 15 times. But whatever, whether once or 15 times, it doesn't matter. Why did you let him go? Came back again, defeated second time, again let him go. Third time, fourth time, 15th time. And then Ghori came here, defeated Prithviraj Chauhan, blinded him, tortured him, raped his wife, got his wife raped by 50 other people, and then killed it. What is it? How stupid, how stupid. For your own ego satisfaction, how can you put the country's security at stake? And you keep hearing, I'm a patriotic person, I'm willing to die for my country, I'm willing to die for my country. A great general once said, you never gained freedom by dying for your country, you always gain freedom by killing the enemy. I said, stupid, you don't understand basic stuff.
Yeah.
You gotta kill the enemy. And it is written in Bhagavad Gita too.
Yeah.
You see, 5,000 years of Bhagavad Gita, we have learned nothing. 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 You see, when Karan was struggling with the wheel, at that time, what did Lord Krishna say to Arjun? Fire, kill him. Arjun said, no, no, no. It goes against my principle of bravery. What did Krishna say at that time? Arjun, you are foolish. It goes, he is not unarmed. Arjun said, it goes against my principle of bravery to fire at an unarmed person. Krishna said, he is not unarmed. He is disarmed. He has been disarmed by your strength. There's a difference between being unarmed and disarmed. 5 minutes ago, he was firing at you. You could be killed. You could have been killed. You could be dead. He has been disarmed by your strength. Fire! And he fired and killed him.
Yeah.
What happened to magnanimity? We have not learned anything from our scriptures. We have not learned anything. Even if you read them, we don't understand them. And there are enough people who talk rubbish and with the Sadhuji, Babaji, Jnaniji, Swamiji, Babuji, and they're all talking all kinds of stuff. Guruji, Swamiji, Babaji, bada hai, bada insan. You see, it's the bigger person who forgives. Stupid also does it.
Yeah.
You know something? we need to get our basics right, and we don't have our basics right.
No, I agree with you, and therefore I think my question, I agree with you on many things that you've shared. But I think, like you said, we all know and we are seeing how a lot of these problems and challenges over the last 20, 30, 40 years have eroded our country, our values. And so I think I want to just turn to you and say, what do you feel we need to do today? Because, we have the largest, youngest population in our country. If we are not going to fix this, if we're not going to be able to guide them, or if we're not at least going to be able to give them some direction, they are going to fall in the same trap. Because the frameworks are the same for them even today. Getting into an IIT, getting a government job, those are the metrics of success even today. Even though there are a gazillion options now to make a living. How do we really do that character building that you're talking about, which is then going to convert into nation building?
Look, how do you build a nation? And where do our generations get the values from? Two places. One, they get the values from parents, and two, they get values from the media. And three, of course, even if you look at it as the leadership, social leadership, political leadership, you see, that I would consider as a social media. Social media is your neighborhood, your movies, and all these things are part of it. There was a time, if you remember, about 40, 50 years ago, the corrupt person was the odd one.
Yeah.
There were more honest people, including bureaucracy and politicians. There were more honest people at that point. And the corrupt person used to stand out. And at that time, people used to, families, I remember in our own family and many others, they used to plan generations together. Our kids will do this, their kids will do this, and so on. And today, they're not planning far at all. They don't know what's going to happen 3 years, 5 years from now. And you see, today, the honest person is the odd one today. That's the odd one. But the kids are learning their value from their homes and the social media and the offices. The social part.
And also to your point around role models.
Role models.
Everything is, you're watching, basically, you're getting most exposed to social media at this point.
That's right. Now, I'll share with you a little example. One lady used to drop her son every day to school. But one day, she asked her husband to drop the kid to the school. So the father was driving in the morning, it was 6:30 or 7 sometime, and the traffic light came in and the light was red. So the father looked around and there was nobody, he just passed through and he went through. And the son says, "Oh, Dad, what are you doing?" He said, "Mom always stops at the red light, but you just passed the red light." You know what the father said? "Son, there's no cop here. Son, there is no cop here. Nobody is seeing." Now tell me, what message is the father giving to the kid? When no one is watching, do wrong when no one is watching. Means do wrong but don't get caught. Look at the message the father is giving. When no one is watching, it's okay to do wrong.
Yeah.
Do wrong but don't get caught. This is what the whole country is all about. Look at the difference in Japan. See, this is where our kids are learning the values from. And then the kid does wrong. Tomorrow, who did he learn from? His dad. And tomorrow, next day, the kid commits crimes, stealing, robbing, murder, and the father says, "How could my kid do this? I taught him good values." No, you are the one who messed up.
You might have taught him, but you didn't enact them. You didn't live them.
No, he taught wrong.
Yeah.
He taught wrong. And same thing, all these politicians, I tell you one thing, they are so good at talking and giving such good speeches, and they talk of integrity, by the way. They are very good actors, very good liars. In fact, they should go to Bollywood. I'm not kidding. They are so good liars. They will do great acting in Bollywood. And they should throw the other guys out Because this is really what is happening. Somebody went into our Indian parliament and saw the chaos. And he made a comment. He said, they're acting like fools. And the man said, they're not acting. They're not acting. This is it.
Yeah.
It is sad. It is really sad and painful. You know what we are doing to our country. We're damaging our own nation.
But often it is said that the leadership is a reflection of the majority of where the society is, right? And so if you were to, for a second, say that that assumption is correct, I want to hear from you.
Okay.
With the recent elections, obviously there was a change. People were they used their vote to really raise their voice against whatever they thought may not have aligned with their values or may not have aligned with what they wanted to see in terms of development or economic growth or whatever it is that they feel are their agendas. What the result change in this elections, what do you think is telling us? Is there something new that people want?
Tell me something. We were all talking about the criminalization of politics. And tell me, what happened pre-election in the last 5-6 months, whatever happened? All the people who had major criminal cases on them, the ED, CBI, income tax, everybody raiding them, and pre-election people were talking, look at him, the embezzlement he did, look at him, how much he is. And then after that they had an alliance, they came into the ruling party. They came into ruling party. Now, all criminals from every party came into the... So now, which has become the biggest criminal party? Right here. Now, also, go back into places like, I believe it was in West Bengal and other places. Many people, the candidates from the BJP, they were ex-TMCs. The former TMCs, almost probably 30-20% of it, numbers were 20-30% were there, people from there. And people who were fed up of TMC, they said, we want to vote for BJP. But when I go here, who do I see? I see TMC. I don't want to vote for him anymore. No wonder they never got it. Do you need a PhD to understand this? Tell me. You're talking of Chanakya. You are talking of strategy. Is this strategy? This is called suicide. This is called self-destruction. And I'll tell you one thing. Had they done their job right, they would have crossed 400. I'm not kidding. Had they done the job right, they didn't. They got into appeasement of minorities. They did. At the same time, they alienated people with the majority community. They did. What did they do? Look at the Waqf Board Act which came in 1995. Waqf Board Act. Waqf Board Act can come into your house today and say this is our Waqf Board property. It came, and they could have repealed it. They could have repealed it. They didn't. Why not?
Yeah.
I mean, you go and I can go. Even the Anand Ranganathan the other day was talking about. He's written a nice book. And he said all the temples are controlled by the government of India. All the revenues go to the government of India. And he says, why are they doing it? Why aren't they doing the same thing with all the other religions? Or let the Hindu temples also go free. Let them decide.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought they were run by trusts and they had their own
thing.
But
you see, in the Hindu trust, people from any other community can become a trustee here, which a Hindu cannot be a trustee there. Is this secularism? What kind of secularism is it? So, I mean, what have they done? Today, in India, show me one country in the world where the majority community feels so insecure as Hindus feel in India. I'm not kidding.
Yeah.
The Hindus feel insecure in India. And they keep talking. Every Hindu should wake up. Every Hindu should get up. They should become enlightened. What does he do? What does a Hindu do? Go to Jantar Mantar and get beaten up and go to jail? Is that what you are expecting there? No, there are some things that have to be done suo moto by the government. There are some things that have to be done by the government. Suo moto. That is called leadership. That is called leadership. But they never did. They only appeased people. And that's all.
Yeah.
And at the same time, deciding whoever you want. This doesn't work like that.
I mean, this is not
Nothing
true
works like
democracy. Yeah,
No,
I know what you
this
mean.
is not democracy. Now, democracy, even in democracy, no matter which country in the world you go, even if it is democracy, yeah, there are certain final decision makers. They have to find somebody has to take the final call. But you can't do it with arrogance. You have to look at it. Take people's opinions into consideration and yet take the final decision. It's okay. It's okay.
So you think this in some way...
Do you see what I'm sharing with you?
No, I understand. I totally understand. I'm saying, do you think that in some way, was this a humbling experience or in some way for pushing the ruling party to recalibrate on their priorities?
Look, guys like me, I would vote for BJP. Do I agree with them? No. Why would I vote for BJP when I see arrogance? Because we don't have any other option. Let me put it, the other options are even worse. Because they created a lot of mess for us. Look at the kind of laws that you're talking about. Minority commission, this commission, and so on. So many things that they have created. Tell me, how can a Sikh be a minority? How can a Jain be a minority? And they say Hindu, Muslim, Sikh, Isai. I take objection to it. Hindu, Muslim, Isai. They cannot be a bigger Hindu than a Sikh. Jain is a minority. How can a Jain be a minority? They are part of us. We get married to each other. What are we talking? Rubbish. You know something? This is disintegrating India. Our own people are creating disintegrated India. And sadly, one of the big damage was done to this country also by Bajpayee, Atal Bihari Bajpayee. How is that? He divided the Hindu society also. How did he do it? 99 election was in Rajasthan. And he declared Jat as backwards there. He declared Jats. How can Jats be backward? Where have been they backward? They have never been backward. After that, the whole country says, I'm backward, I'm backward, I'm backward. Everybody is backward. Now, he won the election, but the country lost. I repeat, they won the election, but the country lost. And this is what is being done by all other people, other cabinets, other governments, other prime minister, everything.
I mean,
They are creating...
politics.
No. Politics is everywhere in the world.
No, I agree
but
with you.
not at the cost of your country, not at the cost of your mother. Where do you stop? You want to become slaves again? Where do you stop?
Yeah, because none of this is merit oriented. It's now becoming more.
Think
and more,
about it.
Yeah.
You say Britishers did the divide and rule. No. We were divided. They only came and ruled us. We were divided even before they came here. And that is a sad part. You know something?
No, but now show me the positive picture.
No,
You're
people,
really...
no. I'm talking of, look, when you go to a doctor, what is the doctor's approach? Examine, diagnose, prescribe.
Yes.
Examine. You cannot prescribe without examining. So what you and I are doing here, we're not gossiping.
No.
Wait. You see, whatever we are talking is painful. We're not laughing. We are not enjoying.
No. It's
This
sad.
is painful. It is sad. So unless we examine, how do we diagnose? We cannot diagnose. And then need to prescribe. And you know, whatever you and I are talking right now, this is the feeling of most people in this country. This is the feeling. But they don't have the guts to speak up. I'm not kidding.
No, you're right.
They are all feeling the same thing. Tell me, when they talk of caste and reservation and all these kind of things, in places like Tamil Nadu, other places, there is 90% reservation. 90% reservation. In Maharashtra, they want reservation. Then does that mean we should throw all the Marathis out of every state and say, go get out and go to Maharashtra? Is that what you want?
They passed a similar bill in Karnataka.
You know something?
Yeah.
Today, when you sit in a bus or a train, do you ask your neighbor, person sitting next to you, what is your caste? You never ask. You never ask.
Yeah.
You know something? Common man is not even concerned. They are perpetuating the problem. They want to create one more partition. They are creating more problems here. This is the sad part. And they think they are smart. I think they are traitors to the nation. They don't understand what the hell they're doing. In fact, they do understand. In fact, I'm sorry. They do understand.
They're taking advantage.
They are deceitful. They are actually behaving like traitors. And that is the sad part. What's the big deal? Tell me, what are the remedies? What are the remedies here? You know something? One remedy is very clear. I just filed a case in the Supreme Court on Nota. It has been registered now. They've given out. And our Nota was, earlier petition was also on my petition. Sorry, the judgment was. But they gave toothless judgment. And they are so-called intellectual people there. Toothless judgment. What is the meaning of Nota? Look at that case in Surat. There was only one contestant. Only one contestant. Yeah. And supposing there were 100 people who had voted for Nota, this guy still would win. Is this judgment? Is this justice? So, today, Nota gets 90%, you get 1%, you win, Nota loses. So today, what is the dilemma? And the solution is, you have to get good people in the parliament who will pass good laws, who will put the national interest above their own. Till that happens, you and I can do podcasts like this all the time and nothing will happen. And you'll say, what's the remedy? We are talking a problem. No. There will be no remedy till you address the root cause. And that's the cause. So, what we are saying is that today 50% people go to vote. And they say, who do I vote for? Go to vote for. All of them are not good candidates.
Yeah.
So, they say, I abstain, I will not go to vote. This is called passive protest. I will not go to vote. But the dilemma is, if I don't go to vote, I'm not a good citizen. But if I do go to vote, who do I vote for? So what do? They go to vote and they cast a ballot for, either they vote for caste or they vote for the weakest criminal. Now, the weakest criminal wins. Now he's got power, he's become the strongest criminal. Is this democracy? Did you want him to win? Does he represent you? This is the biggest joke on democracy. They say we are the biggest democracy. No, you're the biggest joke on democracy. This is not democracy. You see, we are not a good democracy at all. See, what we have requested and to the court, and the court has given a notice to the Election Commission that Nota ought to be treated as a candidate.
Got it. Okay.
And if Nota wins, then all these candidates should be disqualified from that one constituency for that one election and possibly one upcoming election. Now,
that would be true representation in many ways.
They'll be out.
Yeah.
You have a right to stand. People have the right to reject.
Yeah.
They rejected you. So what happens? You cannot have a vacuum. So automatically, a fresh election will take place. This will open the doors for good people to step in. Today, good people have a hard time stepping in. They're fearful. They're scared. You know why? Money and muscles plays a role. Money and muscles. So it'll open the doors for good people to come, number one. And number two, it will force the political parties to field good candidates. Today, the guy is a criminal. Party knows it. All voters know it. He's a criminal. He says, but I'll vote for the party, or he has a good chance of winning. So this guy wins. But when they know that this guy can be rejected, they will make sure they field good candidates right there. This is, you need to address the cause, not the symptom alone. So my filing in the Supreme Court has been to address the cause.
Yeah, makes sense.
Because if you don't address the cause, nothing will happen. So, whatever remedy I am talking of, same thing. By the way, there are multiple things to be done. They should have one nation, one education law, one education system. You see, today there is Bihar board, UP board, Madhya Pradesh board, this board, that board, and everybody has a different syllabus. But then, when the entrance exam comes, NEET, it is one for everybody, the same. But you see, you came from different boards and different syllabus. How can you compete?
Yeah, it's not level playing field.
Tell me,
Yeah.
do you need a PhD to understand this? Common sense. But where is common sense? You know something? Either they're foolish or incompetent and wrong advisors. You see, none of us is an expert. I wish my message today goes to the Prime Minister. I wish my message goes to the Prime Minister.
Well, we urge our viewers to do that. Share it so that it gets there.
Let it go to the Prime Minister.
Yeah.
You look at the economy. Just look at the economy. You talk of make in India. How can we make in India? You see, there are multiple other things in terms of bringing the right kind of laws in this country. First, get rid of wrong laws like the Waqf Board Act and many other things. And at the same time, you see, you should bring in uniform marriageable age for everybody. Uniform marriageable age for everybody. Why not? You see, it should be 18 for everybody, for girls, and 21 for boys. And that's about it. But today it's not uniform marriage. It's for the Hindus, it is only it is 18, but for non-Hindus, it is anything puberty decides. So they, even in, by the way, in Muslim countries, in Pakistan, the minimum marriageable age is 18. That's right.
Yeah.
So there should be proper laws. One, at the same time, they need to address the foundational things in the country. Abolish wrong laws like the Waqf Board. Move on with it. And they could have done it, but they didn't do it. They did not do it. Why did they not do it? Aren't they answerable? They elected people. Why did they not do it?
Vote bank politics.
So you destroy your country? Is that it? Then you should be out.
True.
Either you are incompetent or you are dishonest. Either ways you don't deserve to hold the office. Either ways.
I agree with you.
Now, I'll share with you some things in terms of financial. You see how you can create employment for the country. How you can create employment for the country. Look at this. In India today, look at the fallacy or absurdity of the kind of laws there are. If you have 2 homes and a third home, you are exempt on 2 homes. One here, another in Jaipur, wherever you live, you got 2 homes. So they are okay. But you have a third property you bought in Gurgaon or somewhere, wherever you bought. and it's lying vacant. It's lying vacant. Do you know that you have to declare income on the vacant property? You're not getting any rent. Are you aware of that?
No, I had no idea.
Okay. This is called notional income. See, you got a property in Gurgaon. They will figure out the rentable value. Let us say it is 50,000 or 1 lakh rupees. But it is lying vacant.
Correct.
Nobody took it. At the end of the year, on 12 lakhs, you have to pay income tax on the money that you have not received. This is called notional income. Hello?
Really?
Really?
Okay.
Go check out. Get this message to the finance minister.
Yeah, well, exactly. The budget is round the corner.
Budget is round the corner.
Yeah.
You tell me one thing. Which country taxes you on the money that you have not received? Now,
Fantasy.
no, but tell me, you need a PhD to understand this? What about the advisors? They don't understand all these things? Or they don't want to understand? I question the intent. I'm not kidding. I question the intent. I'll share with you other things also, additionally. How they have penalized the people, the honest people, on GST and the TDS. See, I collected GST from you. Okay, I got it.
Yeah.
Who is supposed to deposit? I'm supposed to deposit GST. I don't deposit. Who is at fault? I'm at fault. But who is penalized?
I am.
You
I
are.
paid.
You paid already. But who's being penalized? I'm being penalized. Does it make sense? It does not. But tell me, who's going to teach them this? Who's going to teach them this?
No.
I'll share with you one more. It happened with us. We had a client, we were talking somewhere a few years ago in March to do a program for them, and the GST amount was involved about 4 or 5 lakhs. So we raised a performer invoice on them. They declined the performer invoice. They said, we pay on the invoice, not the performer invoice. So GST rule says your GST becomes due on raising of invoice or receipt of money, whichever comes first. Okay? But anyway, they wanted the invoice, so we raised it. So we raised the invoice in March. Tax became due 31st March, 4 lakhs. Now the program was to be done in July. We never got paid for it. It was to be done in July. July came. They postponed it to October. October came. They said something has happened, somebody passed away, we can't do that program. We postponed it now indefinitely, maybe to next year. So program is cancelled. My 4 lakhs is sitting from March to November, October. Now 4 lakhs, when I borrowed it, took it on interest, where did I get the money from? I have no money. But now I have to collect money back from the government, 4 lakhs. It took me 5.5 years to get my money back. And I had to use my influence to have some people call up to get my money. You tell me, is this how they're going to reward honest people? What do you need? A PhD to understand all this? Means I am taxed on the money that I didn't receive. It happened with me.
Yeah.
And one more thing, it happened also. I got a notice going back almost 2003, 2004 on some money that they did not give credit on for it. And they got me the notice now to give me documents for 2004 and 2005. How the hell do I get the document for 2004 and 2005? By law, you are supposed to maintain only 8 years of record. Where do I get that from? And they created arbitrarily X amount, and that X amount, now they added interest, now they added penalty, that little X amount became into 50 lakhs and 75 lakhs. Tell me one thing, were they sleeping 14 years? Is this fair? Is this justified? Tell me, who's going to teach these people? And not only that, same thing happens with TDS. I believe, I'm not sure, that only the last 2 months ago, there is a judgment come from Supreme Court which has nullified what I just said on the GST. And another one on TDS. You see, I collected TDS from you. You read it.
It's at source.
Yeah, it's a source. So, you raised an invoice on me. I paid you the money, but I deducted 10%.
Yeah.
The money is with me. Who is to deposit? I'm supposed to deposit it. Now, I didn't do it. Who's going to be penalized?
I won't get my refund.
You will not get your credit.
Yeah.
And you will have to pay that much money extra for taxes. Who is at fault? I'm at fault. Who's being penalized? Is this called justice? Is it sensible? Look, there are so many. I'll share with you more. A notional income, I was surprised. This is notional income. You have to pay tax on the money that you have not received.
Yeah.
And another one is, check out, do you know all people who file the balance sheets, they have to have 2 depreciation schedules. You understand what depreciation is?
Yes.
So they have to file 2 depreciation schedules, one for income tax, one for registrar. And they both go differently. One is called a straight line depreciation, the other is called a declining balance, and so on and so forth.
Yes.
But you have to file 2. Why do you have to file 2? I don't understand. Why do you have to file 2? You see, why can't one do the job? And not only that. See, you are getting this thing depreciated over a 5, 6, 7 year period, and different items have different schedules. Machinery is different. Why can't we make it simpler? If you want to make it India a success, why don't you give a write-off, 100% write-off on capital investment, not consumer investment, capital investment, within a 24-month, 2-year period, depreciate right of everything. Be done with it. One schedule, you don't have to create 2. Why do you need it? Now, another thing I'll share with you, how are somebody is using their head how to create problems. This is called ease of doing business. Somebody is actually constructively, creatively finding a way how to block the machinery. Do you know on GST, we all have to file 2 tax returns every month. One on the 10th, where you have to declare the entire turnover. One on the 20th, to make adjustments on input credit, output credit. Second, why can't they make it one and be done with it?
That's why it's so difficult to run a small business in this country.
That's right. Now, another one. They passed a law, I think last year or somewhere, on MSME. You know what is the law? MSME were registered. They are saying we are benefiting MSME. Law is very clear that to an MSME, if you are dealing with them, you have to make all payments within 45 days. You cannot exceed 45 days. 45 days. Now, supposing I'm MSME, you buy from me, you manufacture your goods, you sell further. You are going to get money 90 days from now. There's credit in the market. So they will pay you money after 90 days. You and I, before we transacted, we agreed that you will pay me money in 60 days. We had an agreement. But the MSE law says that you have to pay me within 45 days. Though my agreement says 60 days will not hold good. The law prevails. Law says 45 days is what you have to pay me. Now you don't have the money. Where are you going to get the money from? Now wait. One. Now, if you don't pay me, you have to pay me interest 3 times the bank interest. Supposing the bank interest is 8%, you have to pay me 24% interest. Number 1. Number 2, the entry will be not deductible. It is not tax deductible anymore. It's not even deducted anymore. अब पैसा डिडक्ट भी नहीं कर सकते आप और आपको पेनल्टी भी देनी है. तो अब क्या करें लोग? What are people doing? They are talking to the MSME and say, look, I have to pay interest. If that is the case, then I will pay interest. So I'll comply with the law, but you give me a credit note now. Or I will stop dealing with MSME. I will deal with another company who's not MSME anymore. I will deal with them now. And now, MSME, you get out of business. Tell me, though my agreement says 60 days, it doesn't mean anything. Tell me, does it make sense?
So how are we going to become Viksit Bharat in 2047?
Do you see what
I see that?
But they have to amend these things.
Yeah.
They can't have just somebody who is a economic expert PhD and say you make the law. They can't do it. They may be good professors to teach, but they can't run a business. They don't know anything. They'll put the country out of business. How stupid. How stupid.
So you're saying there's all this I see that.
I'm going minutely. Look at this. It is absurd, is it not? Absolutely. Yeah. So we have to come back. And same thing with our judicial system. Today, average case takes 25 years. What does judicial system do? Protect the criminal, penalizes the honest person. 33% of the seats in the judiciary are lying vacant for the last maybe 10, 15 years. They can't find a judge in 1.5 billion people. They can't find a judge. They can't find a judge.
Yeah.
And you tell me, hospitals, hotels, airports run 3 shifts. Why can't the courts run 2 shifts? Do you need any extra infrastructure? No. Do you need any money building? No. All you need to do is create 2 courts, one from 8 o'clock to 4 o'clock and 4 o'clock to 12 o'clock. You tell me you'll just multiply the whole thing 200%. Do you need a PhD to understand this? MBA to understand this? It's there. I'm talking solutions now. You said, what is the solution? This is the solution. Can they do it? Answer is yes. Do they want to do it? Answer is no. Yeah. They don't have the will. They don't have the will. They like to create chaos because corrupt people profit from chaos. They like it because nobody becomes accountable.
Yeah.
No wonder things don't work right. You see, there is a big difference between, they say we are growing. No, we are swelling. There's a difference between swelling and growth.
Yeah.
Cancer is also growth. That is negative growth. Cancer is growth. Negative growth. You see, you want to grow in a positive manner.
Healthy manner, I agree.
That's right.
Yeah.
That is called healthy growth. Not cancerous growth. But these are hitting the roots of your problem. How can you do it?
Yeah.
So, I mean, look, there are remedies. And another big one is, you look at all our youth today. People, you ask them, what do you want to do? They want to leave India. They go to Canada, Australia, they want to leave. There was a study done, I think, long time ago, and if I'm not mistaken, one of the major papers, they said 50-60% of youth said, we want to leave India. They want to pack up and go. Running off to Canada, Australia, anywhere. And that is one side. But today also, go back and check the last 5-6 years. how many HNIs, people have left India and become NRIs?
Yeah.
Why is that? Why is that? And when a high net worth person leaves India, they carry their money with them.
It's a big indicator.
It's a huge indicator. And you look at the tax structure. Look at the harassment today. They don't want to face it. You see, your income tax today, and another one, there is a legalized money laundering taking place right now under your nose. What is legalized? Money laundering. Agriculture income is tax-free.
Yeah.
Agriculture income is tax-free. So, I don't want to name people, politicians, who said, I'm growing cauliflowers in my gamlas, 10 crore, 5 crore, 15 crore, 25 crore, 100 crore, gamla mein 100 crore. So jitna all underhand money comes, it becomes legal. Pay no tax. Pay no tax. For which? Who's paying? You and I are paying. You and I are paying. Only 3% people in this country pay income tax.
Yeah.
And they subsidize for the whole country here. You penalize the honest person. Is that the way to do it? You need a PhD to understand this? How stupid. How stupid. You know something? To run this country, what is the qualification you need to run this country?
Common sense.
Just put the national interest above your own interest, and that's all. Nothing else. Probably, Pragya, you can be a better Prime Minister. I'm not kidding. See, anybody can. All you have to do is, the qualification is, put the country's interest above your own. None of us have all the answers. None of us have all the answers. But you see, you got to pull the right team. But many times, you know what you hear? Leader is good, but his advisors are bad.
Or the other one which you hear, उनके compulsions हैं तो नहीं कर पा रहे.
नहीं, सुनिए ना. Leader is good, but the advisors are bad. Go check out all over the world. Who chooses the advisors? Always the leader. Whenever there's a change, political leader, religious leader, anywhere, social
leader,
own
team.
They always bring a new team.
Yeah.
Now, keep in mind, we do not get advisors, the kind of people we want. We get advisors, the kind of people we are. We do not get friends in life, the kind of people we want. We get friends in life, the kind of people we are. You notice one thing. An honest entrepreneur will have an honest attorney, honest accountant as advisor. A corrupt entrepreneur will have a crooked entrepreneur, a crooked attorney, and a crooked accountant as advisor. You know what? Comfort levels are there. And that's it. The comfort levels are there. And that is the key. And you know, all these people, whether every profession has become like this. And sadly today, we justify wrong behavior. I repeat, we don't have to tell anybody it's wrong. They know it. People who do wrong, they know they're doing wrong. We don't have to tell them anything. But they justify it. A cop stops you on the road and he says, 100 rupees de do, main chhod deta hu. Give me $100, main chhod deta hu. You ask him, why should I give you $100? 100 रुपये किस बात के? You know what his answer is? कहता साहब हमारा मंत्री सिरे लाने के 100 करोड़ ले लेता है, मैं तो सड़क पे खड़ा हूँ. वो एक बारी सिरे लाता है तो 100 करोड़, 2 बार हिलाता है तो 200 हो जाता है. कहता है मैं तो सड़क पे खड़ा हूँ. And you talk of that corruption खत्म हो गई. कहाँ खत्म हो गई? You go to any market today, your own locality, जितने वहाँ पर बैठे हैं छाबड़ी वाले, दुकान वाले, हफ्ता पे करते हैं. Everybody pays हफ्ता. करप्शन खत्म हो गई. आपका बॉर्डर है, 2000 रुपये दे के बांग्लादेश से यहाँ पे घुस जाता है. There was an article that came out that there is a It's a prize posting, financial prize posting to get posted on the border. 2,000 रुपए देते. There was a raid on one of the BSF officers, and it came a few 100,000 or something, few thousand crores came in out of his place. 2,000 रुपए दो बॉर्डर क्रॉस कर जाता है आदमी. 2,000 रुपए दो आधार कार्ड बन जाता है. 2,000 रुपए दो आपका ड्राइवर लाइसेंस, इलेक्शन कार्ड बन जाता है. You know something? We are out to sell our own country. Now you think that these things cannot be stopped when we know what the problem is? When we know what the problem is?
Yeah.
When we know it, why can't we stop it? We can stop it. We don't want to stop it. We don't want to. अब बात ये है कि if somebody wants to commit suicide, you can't stop them. इस पेड़ से नहीं करेगा, दूसरे से लटक जाएगा, दूसरे से नहीं करेगा, तीसरे पेड़ से लटक जाएगा. लटकेगा यार, वो तो लटकना ही है उसने. He is decided.
Yes.
तो कब तक रोकोगे उसको?
True.
So bottom line, the answer is only one, and that is we need good, clean leadership, which we don't have. We need, and you don't need 400, 500, 600. You need one good, clean leader, and the whole country will get behind them. You know why? Today, not only the honest people are fed up, even cheats and crooks are fed up. You know why? Because they meet bigger cheats and crooks. And this is one race we all lose.
Yeah, it's to the bottom.
Everybody loses, the country loses, and we're all gone. And that's the key.
Yeah. No, it's so
very unfortunate. One good leadership is only one good leader. And that's all you need. That's it. You don't need more than that. That's a crowd. And that one person creates a good team. And that team is good enough. All over. अरे 5 पांडव थे, 100 भाई को हरा दिया उसने. क्या हुआ?
उनके साथ कृष्ण भगवान थे ना.
हाँ, तो वही एक ही चाहिए ना, वही तो चाहिए, और तो कुछ नहीं चाहिए. देखिए ऐसा होता है. That is why this is another very good example that you just shared. We should pick our advisors very carefully. देखो, अर्जुन ने अपना एडवाइजर कृष्ण भगवान को चुना, और कौरव ने जो थे दुर्योधन ने शिखंडी को चुना. शिखंडी था ना? सॉरी, शकुनी था. शकुनी, हाँ, शकुनी मामा. उसका एडवाइजर शकुनी था. तो देखो भैया, अपना एडवाइजर खुद चुन लिया ना, और अपना सुसाइड खुद कमिट कर लिया. तो यही जरूरी चीज है. एंड इफ अ लीडर सेज आई एम हेल्पलेस, मेरे को they should resign. They should resign. बाहर चले जाओ, गेट आउट. बाहर जाओ ना.
कॉर्पोरेट्स में तो यही होता है ना. इफ योर लीडर कांट टेक अ स्टैंड.
मैं आपको बताऊं, आज की तारीख में, if I have to choose a good leader in this country to run the country, I will say, go pick Ratan Tata. He is running such a huge company that is more like a country. It is more like a country he is running. Ratan Tata. Infosys guy, Narayan Murthy. Another guy, he can run this country. He can run $1 billion company. What's the matter with him? The problem is that they are only looking to run the company. I'm giving you solutions. I'm giving you solutions.
But
these are people who ought to think out of their company, look for the country, because that's a bigger at stake. Their company will be wiped out if the country is not there properly. They need to understand that. These are people who have to come up. They have to fight. Fight is not easy. You become vulnerable. You get threats. Your life is at threat. So many things happen. But then, if you don't do it, you think you're not under threat. You are still under threat.
Yeah, of course, different kind, yeah.
Yeah. That's it.
But I think, you're right. But often then corporates start to take the or wealthy people like them often try to take the other path, which is, I'll do good for the country through foundations. I will do through...
यार एक बात बताओ, फाउंडेशन ही बनाते रहोगे अपना बैठ के? जो कंट्री के अंदर ही फाउंडेशन है, फाउंडेशन के अंदर तो कंट्री नहीं है ना. I went to Rajasthan. There was a man who was putting 300-400 crores in building a Shivji temple. बोले दुनिया में सबसे बड़ा शिवजी टेम्पल है. मैंने कहा यार, go back in the last 800 years, 40,000 टेम्पल तो सारे तोड़ दिए लोगों ने, मुगल ने आके. ये भी अगर इसको संभालना नहीं आएगा तो ये भी टूट जाएगा यार. तो 500 करोड़ लगा रहा है इसमें यार. कम से कम सोच कि इसको प्रोटेक्शन कौन करेगा तेरी. ये श्रद्धा थोड़ी है यार. 40,000 तो टेम्पल तोड़ दिए थे ना.
हाँ.
फिर क्या हुआ था? क्या किया था? और बना ले और टूट जाएंगे, और बना ले और टूट जाएंगे. तेरी समझ में नहीं आती क्या? We need to understand what's the problem.
True. Yeah, no, I agree with you. But what is a 25-year-old today? They're deciding what they want to do in their life. With all these challenges that they have around them, they still want to see the silver lining. What is your advice to them?
The only silver lining that I look at is that they have to be financially strong. You see, empty stomach, there is no values. There are no ethics and integrity on an empty stomach. So somewhere they have to secure themselves financially. They must secure themselves financially. And then once you secure yourself financially, go look at the country immediately. Empty stomach, you can't teach patriotism.
True.
You can't.
Because you're stuck in the rigmarole.
That's
it's very
right.
difficult.
So, but the moment you have that, move on. Look at the larger picture. Look at the larger picture. We owe it to our country. And that's it. We have to move on. And that's going to be tough.
Yeah, because majority of our country is that below poverty line where the stomach is empty. And like, how do you then start to fix that?
Look at the sad part. 80 crore people are getting a meal every day. That means obviously they are underprivileged. They can't afford a meal. That's why they're getting a meal.
Yeah.
So what does it tell you? That the things, whatever they're talking of economic policies, they're not working.
We're not teaching them how to fish. We're just giving them the fish.
And also, if we have a GDP of 8%, where's the 8% going? Maybe 7.5% of the 8% is going to only 30 families. 7.5% of the 8%, 95% is going to only 30 families, and that's it. And 5% is being distributed to the balance of the world. Country, is that the way you're going to go? Is that how it's going to work? Answer is no. It's not going to work. You know something? Any kind of a monopoly is dangerous to the nation.
Yeah.
Any kind of a monopoly. You see, sadly, I wish right from the beginning, Jet Airways went out of business, Go Air went out of business, Spice is in deep trouble, and there are many others who came in. Kingfisher went out, and there were 3-4 others. You know something? This is unhealthy. Very unhealthy.
And you're seeing the same stuff in telecom.
Yeah, we're saying same. Look at Tata's in telecom. They went out of business. They should have been here. And today there's a monopoly. And I think that is very unhealthy. It is very unhealthy. And look at what is happening there in Bihar. In 17 days, 13 bridges collapsed.
Yeah.
13 bridges collapsed. Tell me, who is accountable? Nothing happens. Nothing happens. So what does it tell you? Do wrong but don't get caught. Nothing happens. What does it tell you? Judicial system is messed up. Politicians are messed up. Bureaucracy is messed up. Who gave them? And you look at one more thing. When in Delhi or somewhere, 22 children got killed in a hospital or something
Oh,
like
yes,
that,
because-
and fire or something like, and they did not have an NOC from the department, and the anchor asked me, I was on the TV, anchor asked me, you know something, they didn't even have an NOC, they didn't even have an NOC. I said, my friend, what a joke. Do you know how, if they had NOC, it would be okay? And do you know how you get NOCs today? Every month you just pay them some money, you get an NOC. So you get a fitness certificate without inspection. Hello? So that means, did you prevent the accident? No, accident would have still happened, but you got an NOC. I said, are you nuts? You are anchor. Is that the criteria?
No
Is
one's
that
even-
the criteria?
Yeah. No
You
one's even
see,
asking
you
the
pay the
questions.
money, get an NOC. You know something? This is so deep-rooted, and they do not want to change the corrupt system. They don't want to. They like corruption, and that's what they're doing. Nepotism, corruption, judiciary, even judiciary. Many judges have said there's corruption in the judiciary. Right there.
Yeah.
Everywhere, pretty much. So it is sad. So, and they don't want to do anything about it. You know what? They can handle this very easily. They can handle this very easily. All they have to do is create 10 sting operations, bang! The whole country will be straightened out. I'm not kidding.
I mean, Anna Hazare was one of those movements,
all,
right?
All you need is 10 sting operations. And it happened, if you remember, 13 days that guy was there. Who said that in case somebody asks you for a bribe, don't refuse, just make a video of him, of that person.
Acha.
Oh yeah, it happened, and only for those 13 days. You know what? People went to the RTO, people went to other places, and they said, "Ab ye se paise le lijiye, तुम क्या सोचते हो? मैं बेईमान हूँ, मैं चोर हूँ, आप मेरे को करप्शन भ्रष्टाचार दिखा रहे हो." But because he knew he was being recorded. 13 is no corruption. Is it difficult to handle it?
Yeah.
No, it's not difficult to handle. You know, they don't want to do it. They don't want to do it. They like it this way.
So when are you standing
Because-
for elections?
Well, I did it long time ago, and if I could rewind the clock, I would stand up tomorrow for election. I'm not kidding. It is just that physically I don't feel up to it. I had some in my cardiac thing. I had 2 balloons and the stents put in here, and a bunch of other things are coming in. So it's important.
No, I agree. I mean, that's
So
important.
the bottom line really comes, I'd stand up right tomorrow and fight it. But we need that back.
No, but you're doing it in another way, right? You're inspiring young people by going to IIMs and, coaching them and hopefully...
But you go one step forward and 2 steps backward. Things doesn't work like that. You see, sometimes you have to move much more at a faster pace to make a difference. Just in the 90s, China was 20 years behind us.
Yeah.
Today they are 40, 50 years ahead of us. What does it tell you? But people say, oh, they are ruthless. Okay, they are ruthless. They copied here. They broke the trademarks. They never accept intellectual property. Tell me, should they reinvent the wheel? They crossed 3 generations and came 1 generation forward. What's wrong with that? I mean, they did everything right. Move on. Yeah, I don't endorse that the corruption and cheating that they do, they mix up all things. And look, what we are doing, in fact, there's an article I'm writing, 35% of spurious drugs in the world is coming from India. 35% of spurious drugs. Today, you go to eat food. There's adulteration there.
Yeah.
You take fruits and vegetables, there is chemical on it, cancerous chemical on it. And tell me, what is the penalty for it? Now, you murder somebody, you get a death penalty. Or life imprisonment.
This is slow death.
But You put urea into the milk every day and give 500 people, that is murder. But you know what? At least till some time ago, the penalty was only 10,000 rupees and 6 months in jail. This is murder. Murdering 500 people every day. You tell me, is this the law? You can't do anything about it? Are you so helpless? Are you so helpless? What does it tell you? If you're helpless, you are incompetent, or get out, you don't want to do it. This is so visible.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you one more thing. There's solutions. Today you got major traffic problem. Everywhere parking is a problem. Go to any big market today. Any big market.
Yes.
And every big market, there are some shops doing very well and some are struggling even today. All they have to do is buy out all the struggling shops. Close them, give them money, and build a parking lot for 500 cars, 100 cars, 200, 500. See, all the other things, it'll straighten out. Go to every market today, check up the shops that are not doing well, and even if they do, if they have to club them together to be able to bring them together, pay them compensation. They're still there, they will still be doing well, and buy it out and create a parking lot up and down right there, and you got 200, 300, 400 cars. Your traffic jam will be over. But they don't want to do it.
No, but also tell me, what is the role of the
you
media in this country?
No, do you see what I'm sharing
I absolutely
with you?
do.
And also, the parking lots that they have, it's a racket. And all they have to do is just create it a multi-story building right there. They can do it. And you go to places even like Vasant Vihar and other places, there are people on sides with those little khokhas there, and they are selling tobacco, they're selling this, and at night you go 12 o'clock. At night, 12 o'clock.
It's unsafe.
It is, you can't even walk there. It is nothing else but a den for drugs and prostitution. That's true. That's it. And you tell me one thing, can they operate without protection of police? Oh, what are you joke? You know it, I know it, but can they operate without police protection? They say, no, we are all clean. Punjab is full of drugs. Can you think, can it happen without police protection and political protection? No. And you get Bharat Ratna.
Yeah, I mean...
Do you see what I'm saying?
I see it, and I think I'm more and more... I guess there's one side of me which is obviously feeling disheartened because this is the reality of our country, which is true. But I think I also see that often from such a place in the bottom, like we're in the bottom of the pot, the only way up hopefully is up and not down.
Yeah, that's all bottom line really comes is.
Yeah.
We need to, the answer is to get good leadership with integrity, puts the national interest above your own, and having the courage and the guts to do it. See, integrity without courage is useless. I repeat, integrity without courage is useless. And keep in mind, as a final take home, weak people can never be sincere. And cowards can never practice morality. Weak people can never be sincere, and cowards can never practice morality. They don't have the guts to stand up. They'll chicken run away.
Yeah, when the things get difficult, they'll be the first ones to bail.
Non-committal. Even employees in corporate world, even part of the corporate world, there are people who go half-hearted. I'll give it a shot. I'll try. It'll never work. They're non-committal.
So, we spoke about many challenges, and, you also gave us the challenges, the diagnosis, and also now the solution. So I want to understand, if you were to become the leader of this country for 30 days, what would be your top 3 priorities be to fix?
When you say leader, what does that mean?
I mean, the top man of the job, the Prime Minister.
Oh, okay. If I was given the opportunity to be a Prime Minister of this country only for 30 days, and If I had the Indian armed forces with me, I would straighten this country out within less than 30 days. Now, what would I do? I'm not kidding. What would I do? I would make only 3 places changes. 1, electoral reforms, some foundational reforms on political system, and some judicial reforms. 1. Number 2, I will immediately get rid of corruption in 30 days. Now, you might say, can we get rid of corruption in 30 days? Answer is yes, we can. Absolutely, we can. And third, you see, we want to make some changes in the economic situation which will provide economic boost, provide employment to people. It will grow the country. This country will have double-digit growth. GDP will be double-digit growth. We will see ourselves foundationally as a very strong country. I don't care whether we are at 5th largest economy, we will come 4th and 3rd or 2nd. That's not important. That's not important. What is important is, are you bringing mass prosperity? I'm not looking to give 80 crore people free meals. I'm going to look at giving 80 crore people opportunity. People are looking for opportunity to grow. They don't want free bills. Keep in mind, people do not want charity, they want justice. I repeat English language. People are not looking for charity, they're looking for justice. And only 30 days I need to straighten this country out. Get the right laws, electoral laws, judicial laws, economic laws, get rid of corruption, bring your economy on track, and man, you are done. I'm not kidding. I'm not foolish, I'm not stupid. All it takes is 30 days and put the national interest above your own, have the right state of mind, and you got a new country running. That's it. And I hope this message gets to the Prime Minister.
Well, fantastic. I mean, I think that's a good point to probably end this conversation on a high note. But just one thing. So you said the army should be on your side.
Yes.
Tell me more about that. Tell me more about that.
I would want my defense services to be on my side. They are honest, they are patriotic, they are ready to do the right thing for the nation, and that's what we need. In fact, I want to share something with you, very interesting. The first Chief Minister of Punjab used to be Pratap Singh Khera. But before our times, and his sons were bullies and literally became like the today politician's son. You don't know who I am, my father is so-and-so. And they were hooligans, they were picking up girls, they were teasing them, doing all kinds of stuff. One time, the Pratap Singh Khera's son, there were 3 ladies, and they started teasing them and started misbehaving them. But their husband were in the Indian Army. So one of the ladies really got fed up with these people, the way they were vulgar. She called her husband, and husband said, stay there, we're on our way. I think the name was Colonel Das. Colonel Das. He said, stay there. He brought all his troops. I don't know if you call them battalion, but whatever. He got everybody right there. And as these people came to know that the army was coming and the people were coming, they started running, and they were hiding in different places, hiding like chicken. Eventually, they circled the whole building, eventually caught hold of these people and beat them right on the street, and they stripped them and dragged them all the way to the cantonment. Dragged them. This is Khera's sons. Dragged them into the cantonment. Now, Khera came to know that his son didn't show up. Eventually, he found out that they were picked up and the army came and these people were beaten up. They went to the cantonment. They called. Nobody would answer. Then Khera wanted to come into the cantonment. Now, Khera, these people in the army, guys, now he's the commandant. He said, Khera cannot bring his car, stop his car. He has to walk up to here. Khera walked in here, and he saw his son being beaten up. Khera called Nehru. the Prime Minister. And he said, look, my kids are there, being beaten up and all that stuff, get them released. And he said, okay, let me call. So he called the Chief of Army. General Thimayya was the chief. And General Thimayya said, I'll get back to you. And he found out what was happening. And these guys were beaten up, red, blue, everywhere. And they found out how these people had insulted these girls, ladies. General Thimayya called Nehru. And he said, Mr. Prime Minister, I will let my troops do what they have to. It is their discretion and their decision. Keep in mind, if my soldiers cannot protect the respect and dignity of the women and children, they can never protect the respect and dignity of the country. They will beat, let them keep beating till they finish up. General Thimayya.
Yeah, I've heard this anecdote from my father.
Yeah?
Yeah.
This is it. You know something? That's what we need. You don't want chamchas here. See, these are all chamchas around here. They don't have the guts to speak up. So you need people with guts. And when you said, what would the army do? That's what army would do. So if I am there at the helm of it, I need to take a few decisions, but I need my troops right there with me to stand up for integrity. And I'll tell you what, I don't need more than 30 days. I'm not kidding. 30 days is more than enough. Watch. I wish what I say becomes truth.
I mean, for all of us, because that's the only way we're all going to be successful and also